Family versus career. Is it possible to have both? If you are struggling with having priorities as a career, but feeling like you have to neglect your family or vice versa, it's because there's a fundamental principle that you do not yet understand. Welcome to the Golden Hour. This is the 5 a.m. Leadership Lab. And the question that our executives ask that I'm addressing today is it possible to have both family and career? Or is it always going to be one or the other? And I understand the need for this question because if you're an executive or an aspiring executive, chances are your career is a top priority for you and you desire advancement. You desire to grow and make more impact. And as a result of that desire and those goals, there will be necessarily a call for you to invest your resources. So what do I mean by your resources? It is going to require an investment of your time. It's going to require an investment of your resources, your intellectual resources, your mental resources, your physical resources, and your stamina resources. It is also going to be required an investment of your money, investing in yourself, investing in your self-education. And all of these is what I call your currencies. If you have career goals, if you're ambitious, it will require an investment in these currencies. And these currencies are finite currencies. Your money, your time, your focus, your intellect, your energy, these are all finite resources. So I understand that it might seem like, well, if I invest these resources into my career or into my professional life, then as it is like a piece of the pie, there's less remaining for my family. There's less remaining. So what do I do? Which one do I choose? My family is also important to me. But here's the thing. If you are struggling in that, it's because so far you've been thinking either or, either family or career, either or. Great leaders, the top executives, don't think in either or principles. They think in both and. And if it's hard in terms of family and business to think in that mindset, both and, is because you've been misled by the cultural hypnotic mechanism. You have been misled by the education system. You've been misled to believe that you can't have both and. And here's how you've been misled. There's been a concept that you've been indoctrinated with called work-life balance. Have you heard of that before? And what the work-life balance is programming your subconscious mind to believe is that it is either or, work or life. How do you balance the two? And have you ever struggled with work-life balance? Have you ever felt so challenged by it, no matter how diligently you tried to manage your time and to block out your calendar? Because there's no such a thing as the work-life balance. That is not the strategy to be able to have both and. So that's why if you're thinking in your mind it's family versus career, it's because you've been set up for failure and thinking in terms of work-life balance. So if there's no such a thing as work-life balance, then what is it? If you reflect upon your life, I'm not just talking about your career path. If you reflect upon your life, there have been moments where you were growing and in momentum. There have been moments where you were at rest. There have been moments where you were in planning and strategizing mode. There have been moments. So these moments is what I call seasons. Life occurs in seasons. In other words, how does this apply to this situation? There are seasons of growth. There are seasons of focus. There are seasons of relaxation. There are seasons of vacationing. There are seasons of sabbaticals. And these are all seasons you have in your life. If you step up and be diligent about planning your seasons, and you're diligent about how you fill your days and how you fill your months and how you fill your years, if you are intentional about that, then those sudden emergencies, those distractions occur less and less. So instead of striving for work-life balance, which is an unattainable outcome, be able to shift your mindset into focusing on both and career and family, and not feeling like you have to neglect the other if you choose one. And the way to do that is to plan out the seasons of your life. Maybe you're in a moment, for example, where you are in the promotional cycles and you're about to give a presentation in front of stakeholders that's really going to count for a lot of merit towards your promotion. If that's the case, then you're in a season of focus. And it requires your intention, it requires your attention, it requires your energy. You're in a season of focus. But a season of focus for one particular goal doesn't last forever. It's important for you to design the goals that you achieve in which particular order. It's important to have that order of prioritization. And all of these things help you to be in a modality of operating where you can have both and at the same time where you are including your family members and your loved ones in your journey. If they don't know what's going on, if they don't know what's going on with you, if they don't have that transparency, the only thing they know and the only thing they see and experience is you're not spending time with me. So integrate that level of communication and that transparency with your family members where you want to spend time with them. Let them know what's going on. Let them know what's happening. Let them know what decisions you're facing. Let them know what goals you are intending. Let them be involved in the planning process. Allow them to step up into being your greatest cheerleaders. And when you have that level of transparency on the family side, and you have that level of clarity and prioritization and that focus on the career side, there's no reason why it can't be both and. So it's time to let go of the dogma of work-life balance because maybe you've been trying to pursue something, obtain something that's been unattainable. These are real principles to help you to be in momentum sustainably.